smuggle Jamie to your brother's apartment and not tell him? He comes home from work and Jamie...
I mean, this isn't a podcast about smuggling Jamie Anderson. This is What You Think.
No!
We're still getting ready here. We are drinking some Einbecker. What else we got here? Edelstaff?
Augsteiner.
Augsteiner? I don't know. We got some sake. We were at the cigar bar earlier. We got some Pecatonica beer here.
We got some Corbel.
We got some Newski's Landjägers.
Applewood smoke.
This is What You Think. Today, I have my co-host with me, the pants-wearing Isaac Sagafis.
I do have.
The sweatshirt wearing in the summertime, Jason Smith.
It's a little chilly in here.
Yeah, what's
It's a
that?
little chilly in here. And we got Josh Quinn. He is wearing... He's got a pocket on the front of his shirt.
I do have a pocket on.
That's pretty crazy.
Where I put a Landjäger so I can just lean down and take bites during
He
the show.
eats Landjägers during the podcast. So today, Jason has a story or two for us. A story at least.
Dude, I do have a little story for you. Before we get going, I got to get me a little beer. I don't know. Crack.
Little beer. That's huge.
Drinking.
I can't pronounce this.
I was going to say...
Budweiser?
Wise.
No.
Otherwise, I do got me a little Corbel water, too, just to kind of keep the whiskey.
Take the edge off.
Yeah.
But how do I put the edge back on?
All right, Jason, take it away.
So, I know we're, more of a Midwest paranormal podcast. So, the location
That is our
of this,
description.
may be a little controversial to some, depending on what your definition of the Midwest is.
Are you going to embroil us in our first controversy?
Well,
Oh, we've had plenty of controversies, Josh.
this is technically a part of Mimel, being the chicken that Mimel is cooking. We're going to go to the...
Kansas?
No.
No.
We're going to Kentucky.
Ooh.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Ooh.
Yeah, Kansas is like actually the Midwest. I'd
Yeah.
say.
That's not even part of Mimel, though.
You're right.
He's by his back, though.
He is.
got
Mimel's
Mimel's back, bro.
Oh, that's why Kansas is nice. So tonight we're heading to rural Christian County, Kentucky, in a small town named Kelly, home to less than 300 people.
So
What are you talking about? Gratiot?
Yeah.
And it's basically the
What is it?
Gratiot of...
Is it Browntown?
I see what he's doing there.
So it's in the southwest-ish part of the state. Like, it's not really in that weird west part that sticks out, but... I
Is
don't
it on
know.
the Bourbon Trail?
I don't know that by heart.
I think it's all a
Wait,
Bourbon
is he
Trail.
not the fact checker?
Well, I'm
He's got the story, Isaac. Check his fact.
story.
Oh, dear. I'll check.
But
What is it called?
Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly, Kentucky.
Yes. So back in 1955, the lovely month of August, the 21st day, in a farmhouse full of people, and they claimed that they were attacked by small glowing creatures for nearly 4 hours.
That's a long time to be
Attacked by
Attacked.
small glowing
Did
creatures.
you, grab a gun and start shooting?
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh.
So this is the story of the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, one of the most famous and hotly debated UFO cases in American history.
I like it because it kind of has like alliteration.
It really does. Like I didn't even think of trying to type in a lot of the alliteration,
Man.
getting all this together.
That's crazy.
So in the Sutton farmhouse that sat on Old Madisonville Road, that was just outside the town of Kelly. And I guess even calling it a town is probably a little bit of a...
It's unincorporated. It is unincorporated.
But 11 people were present that night. It was a mix of adults and children from the Sutton and Taylor families. Residents of the farmhouse included Glennie Langford,
Not Glennie.
her children Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary.
Glennie was a lady?
Yeah.
Sounds
Two
hot.
grown sons from a previous marriage.
Wait, it didn't include their names?
Oh, I'm getting to them.
Oh.
Elmer, nicknamed Lucky.
You always need
Lucky
an Elmer.
Elmer. He's
John
lucky because they
Charlie
didn't
or
send him to the glue
JC
factory.
Sutton. So Lucky and JC's respective wives, Vera and Aline. Aline's brother, O.P. Baker. And we had Billy Ray Taylor, Billy Ray's wife, June. Both the Taylors, Lucky and Vera, were reportedly carnival workers who were just kind of visiting.
Hell yeah.
It's Carson.
Hell yeah. Carnies. Kentucky Carnies.
Exactly.
More alliteration
So
from Kelly.
they were visiting, relaxing, eating dinner. Really nothing unusual, just having a good old time. Till Billy Ray Taylor stepped outside. He stepped outside to fetch some water from the well. Billy Ray later told police.
Wait, what year was this?
1955.
Okay. It wasn't 1855.
Not 18.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Did they even have like carnies in the 1800s?
They probably
Yes,
did.
they had carnivals.
But like
Anybody
they
who works at a carnival is a carny.
They might have had more teeth back then. I don't know.
yeah, they weren't
actually
kind of
been
like
respectable.
our.
Shout out to our carny listeners. We
They
know
would
you
have been
guys.
doing opium instead of meth.
Now they're doing what you think.
Oh,
But anyways, Billy Ray later told police that he saw a bright silvery object streak across the sky and descend behind the tree line, glowing with colors like a rainbow. At first, the others brushed it
He
off.
said like a rainbow
Here,
because he didn't
shooting
know what
stars,
colors were in it.
something like that. Maybe a trick of the light. But all of a sudden, one of the dogs in the house just started frantically barking, just like freaking out. And then that made him think, what if there is something out there? When the dog ended up falling silent, the men stepped outside, and that's when they saw it. A small figure, about 3 to 4 feet tall, a large round head, long arms, and glowing eyes.
E.T.
Creature. It might have been. Who knows? The creature moved strangely, almost weightlessly. Its hands were raised as if in surrender or in curiosity.
Was its finger glowing?
Wasn't glowing yet. Lucky Sutton fired. The figure flipped backwards, but it didn't fall. It just simply drifted away into
Wait.
the darkness.
So they shot it immediately.
Yes.
Oh.
This was Kentucky.
They
I
shot
love
it
this.
immediately and it just kind of floated back.
Yeah. So what followed was a 4-hour siege, according to witnesses.
They
oh
just shot,
Jesus Christ!
they
They
just
appeared
shot
at the
some
window.
poor little critter.
At the doorway on the roof and in the trees. They were glowing like faintly, and their eyes were still just shining in the moonlight, like reflecting. They said that like they were just like floating through the trees. The sound of the bullets striking them just sounded like bullets hitting a metal bucket. And whenever they were hit, it like an oddly luminous patch like would kind of like go up behind them.
So you're telling me like the scene in Predator when they shoot him and there's the glowing blood behind him was
Yeah.
happening, but with gnomes?
Yeah, but floating gnomes. It
So
was
how many of them were shooting at them? The whole family? All 11 people? Just had their guns at this
some were
function?
kids, so probably not. But it was at least like 4 or 5 adults, probably.
They got to get those kids some guns.
But yeah, so it was like, I don't know, a green light was like with a source that they couldn't really like, see like what was causing it to glow was kind of like left behind. So like, as you can imagine, there are just shell casings like piling up, like windows cracked and all of that happening, but the creatures never entered the house. So around 11 p.m., the terrified group fled. They finally got brave enough to like book it towards their like cars, and then they fled to the Hopkinsville police station, where officers described that they were just like genuinely frightened, agitated, and freaked out. Their story triggered like a massive response. So some of it was like due to the creatures. Some people like had like, phone calls saying that, oh, there's like families shooting at each other, so there ended up being like local citizens showing up, 4 city police officers, 5 state troopers.
They have that many city police officers in that little town?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty-
and then there were
we didn't even have
4
one.
military police from a nearby
Oh,
up coming in. So from like Fort Campbell. So they all drove to the farmhouse there. The search yielded no evidence apart from broken windows, holes in screens that they just kind of like chalked up to like the gunfire itself. So officers found bullet holes, like I said, torn screens, spent ammunition everywhere, but there were no tracks, no bodies, and they couldn't find any physical evidence. So like the blood that they described as like glowing, just it wasn't there. So after a while, like, everything just was tense and quiet, but they just kind of like, were like, okay, like maybe we'll just have to leave and check it out in the morning. So when the officers left, the family later claimed that the creatures returned until like just before dawn. And then,
But they weren't doing anything. They were just
staring there. So the press descended quickly and the story ended up spreading like all over the place. The phrase like little green men started getting like thrown around a little bit, even though in a lot of the original newspaper stories and like from the witnesses, like nothing really described him as green, but that kind of like spread on its own. And like, that's where like the little
green men,
thing
yeah.
ended up coming from and all that. So today, even like Kelly, Kentucky holds like the annual Little Green Men Days as like a festival to kind of like celebrate it.
That is just like the funniest thing. Most of the things we talk about, they end up having a festival even though it was probably the scariest day of these people's lives.
Let's
people
celebrate
were, like,
this.
Genuinely freaked out, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, let's have a party for this. Look at these little aliens." So in the 70s, like Steven Spielberg even like used this as like inspiration. Like he had like an unproduced science fiction horror film called Night Skies that he then like readapted some of it, and that turned into E.T.
So wasn't there
E.T.
wasn't there a movie first in like the 50s right after it was made? You might not have the information now, but I think there was a cheap B movie that was made or something in the 50s. I'm pretty sure I heard this story before. And people are like, "Oh, Steven Spielberg
He ripped it off,
or something."
Critters.
No,
like
that's not from the 50s. But so I've heard a little bit more about this story too. I don't know if you'll get into it, Jason, but like, I've heard that the alien was talking to one of the children there, potentially too, or communicating with one of the children there that was autistic.
I didn't see anything with
There was
that.
a Shining kid in there too?
So I guess I heard this on another podcast, and they were talking about this story, and they're like, "Well, yeah, the alien there was communicating somehow with this autistic kid," and a lot of people have speculated that like kids with autism or people with autism can tap into other consciousness, or they might be like somehow psychokinetic or telepathic or in some ways. So that's one of the spins I heard on it, which would kind of make sense with like the ET communicating and stuff with Jerry or whatever the kid's name was, E.T.
Omar.
But I heard it like the other thing I heard is that it also hid in their barn for a couple days, or is that?
There was like some reports of that, but like some other like people when they investigated saw or didn't really claim to find anything or like hear about that.
Okay.
But it was like it did allegedly come back like after like the cops left and all that kind of stuff.
Wait, how many was there?
There were a good handful of them from like what the reports said.
Didn't they shoot like all of the bullets in their house? Like they ran out of ammo?
Pretty much. Like they were basically shooting at it for like 4
Is that the
hours.
first thing you would do if you see something like that? Was shoot at it? Or would you be like, "Hey there, fella"?
I mean, it's like the Van Meter monster. They just kind of like saw it outside.
And that's a screaming pterodactyl that stinks. But
Okay, I can understand that, but if I but an alien, I would shoot at the Hamburger Man too. That guy.
He would just try to give you.
Would you like a hamburger?
Okay. But like they shot him and they just kind of floated back into the woods and then they came back out running at him?
Pretty much.
So, and this is also at a time, there weren't necessarily a lot of documented alien encounters or, we didn't have the internet or national news like that.
Roswell too, right?
Roswell was in the 40s. I think it was 47
49?
or something like that. It was right after World War II got done.
47.
Yeah.
Damn.
Told you.
Wait, did they think they were aliens or did they think they were just like,
Chupacabras.
yeah?
Some kind of weird creature.
I can understand shooting at him if they thought it was like
aliens.
a wolf creature.
Okay,
but-
what gets me about this is they had to go outside to the well to get water, but they drove to the next town.
What? Yeah.
We're like,
I don't follow.
They had cars, but not plumbing?
Yeah.
It was like
Okay.
It was the 50s in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. Yeah.
They
Okay.
probably had outhouse
probably
too,
didn't
Josh.
have a
Yeah.
Yeah, probably had out.
infrastructure.
Yeah. So I don't know how much more you have to this, Jason. I have some more I want to add, or at least
Get into it.
I'll start with what I think. So
What?
I think that there's been some sort of like soft disclosure over the years where I was listening to a podcast with the Dark Skies people where they had someone approach them and say, "Hey, you guys working in Hollywood, you guys are doing these alien movies and this kind of stuff. We're going to give you some information to help you feed the public this information. So when we finally do full disclosures, it's not as scary because they've seen this stuff in media before." A lot of people think that Steven Spielberg took that deal too. Back in the day, he did
E.T.
E.T.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
He just did Disclosure Day.
Yeah, Disclosure.
What is it? Taken is the other one. Like, and he's worked on a lot of that stuff. They think that he's used as a source of like trickling information. I think this one might be some sort of real thing. Whether or not it's aliens, I don't know. It could just be critters drifting into our dimension, right, from another dimension. All these things, they always glow. Did it smell? Did it say if it smelled?
They didn't say anything about it smelling. So
Did they make noise?
when they shot him.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just like the tinging sound of the bullets.
Yeah, but I mean, if they were like extra dimensional beings, maybe they're not affected by our, kinetic weapons and stuff, right?
I
Just
don't
like
know.
everything else.
The first one seems like it kind of cartoonishly flew back after he shot it.
maybe
That actually would be terrifying,
Bullets.
though. But if I had shot something and it did that, I wouldn't keep shooting at it.
Right.
I'd be
I
like,
don't
"Oh,
know.
well,
Don't you remember in Tremors when they start shooting the thing and then it's not working and they just keep grabbing more and more guns and keep shooting it? I feel like that's the right decision.
But he said it had its hand out raised, like it wasn't being menacing, right?
So, Isaac, I'll go with you next. What do you think this is? Do you think this is a real thing? Do you think it's an alien? Do you think it was
I think
hostile?
it's real, and I'm pissed that they shot at the poor little fella. Fellas.
Would
I would
you
have
try
invited
to
him
make-
in for dinner.
Would you try to make friends with it?
Absolutely.
Would he
Because
make
it might
you-
have took me out to outer space. It gave me a new car.
Would he make you tiny pancakes?
I hope not. I don't like pancakes.
Those
Especially not those.
aliens.
Josh, what do you think about this one?
I think it was a real thing. I think it's also really weird at how many law enforcement showed up afterwards.
Well, it was close to a military base too, which is another thing. So
Yeah, but as far as how seriously they took it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
as far as how, because really what it sounds like is a bunch of hillbillies just were shooting at, something out there in the darkness.
probably
And then-
drunk on bourbon or moonshine.
And then they got a serious, law enforcement and military response to, there's something out there.
But Jason did say they thought neighbors and stuff were shooting at each other, so maybe that's why there was such a big police
That's why
presence.
there's like some of like the more local people. They just thought it was like another like
Hatfields and McCoys.
exactly.
Yeah, but nobody was dead afterwards. You know what I mean? Like if neighbors were shooting at each other.
I mean, they were shooting for 4 hours.
hours.
That's a long time to be
That's a lot
in a
of ammo.
firefight, right?
That's what I'm saying.
4 hours straight is nuts. I asked Jason, you did the most research on this story. What do you think? Think it's real?
There were some stories that some skeptics were claiming that, it could have just been something like they saw some great horned owls out there. Because those are like.
Why do people say that
They
for
always
aliens
say
all the
it's
time?
owls.
Yeah.
And it's, they got the big eyes and everything. But I mean, you could easily shoot at one of those and it just
it would not
Drop
sound like
dead.
metal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it would explode, basically.
but yeah, they kind of get into how, it could have been like a mass hysteria kind of thing. But I feel like kind of like what we were saying, for 4 hours to be shooting at things like that.
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like you'd sober up even if you were drunk on moonshine. You'd sober up pretty quick once you start shooting at an
Some
alien.
of the
After-
interviewers though said that they weren't drinking though.
Yeah.
I feel like after
And
the
there's
first,
kids. I guess the
Yeah,
kids could have been drunk, but
I feel like
you're saying the carnies weren't drunk?
That's what they were saying.
Oh, I don't believe it now.
No drink.
Never mind. I don't believe it.
after the first hour, I feel like you would have been okay. Maybe they're
Yeah,
gone.
How much
adrenaline
ammo
would,
did they have?
But maybe it wasn't constant firing, but just bobbing, weaving, and they see one pop out, then they fire it off, and then nothing comes up for another 10 minutes. I don't know.
That sounds kind of fun.
But- Guys, what if it was a great horned owl attack?
Just a whole
there's just
mob.
Just
of
like a
them.
whole flock of owls.
Yeah, Project Blue Book had an official classification on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what did they say it was?
They just claimed it was a hoax, but they didn't
Oh,
actually
really?
go into a whole lot about proving the intent and all that.
Okay.
They just kind of
The fact that they looked into it means it was.
Something.
There was a reason to look into it.
Oh, yeah. So that was kind of interesting to see.
Huh.
But they just kind of quickly put the squash on it, which seems a little interesting too.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. This is one of those I want to believe. I feel like it would be very interesting that I don't know. We have some kind of first encounter with a possibly friendly thing, and they just run into some hillbillies. That
Yeah.
God dang
Yeah,
carnies.
give us a bad rap.
So, hopefully, if our little green men friends are listening to this out there,
We're sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, we're sorry.
Come
We
up
don't,
north next time.
We don't take we don't claim their actions. Come visit us.
Right. Well, I mean, we're drinking Einbecker. We're drinking Pecatonica. We got a lot of German beer tonight and some sake. Isaac,
Off.
break out those Landiegers over there. We told you what we think. This is Up What You Think.